You can turn on the TV or you can go to the game and say, well, when this player gets the ball, I expect that player to be over there. Do you see that on Jamaica play?
Well, there are sometimes that the performance is questionable. Yes.
Okay. And the consistency.
Hmm. So in short,
I am just saying.
yes.
Huh?
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
You're saying that you want to see more local based players getting more opportunities.
Yes. And let us fail. Let them fail. And at least you can say them get a chance. But I'm just, you see the crime rate is in Jamaica. And the football have a lot to do with that. And if most of the players them are playing for the national team, you can't have a youth now. He's playing, let's say, for Mount Pleasant, Jamaica playing again. You know how much fans that player going to bring to come to the stadium? A player playing in St. Mary, a player playing St. Catherine, a player playing Clarendon. You know how much fans are come watch because they have a player with them can relate to that is playing for the country. We don't have that now. So that's why the stadiums are empty. And a man will come to the stadium now because of me. Then bring a new English-based player or two to come play. They never see them play before, so they will go watch the game. But they cannot be identified. There's no player that the fans can identify with. You notice if Kadim Dixie in the side, you have some followers from Arnett.
Right.
If I have a player from you have some fans from Abbeville. We don't have that now. And people say, yeah, things change. Yeah, things change, but the more things change, the more it can be the same.
Right. Tell me something.
We have to go ahead.
If you were a member of the technical team for the Reggae Boys, tell me what would you be instructing or advising Coach McLaren and the entire team to do in terms of incorporating or better incorporate the local base and international base players?
Well, we have to have at least half of the squad after the local base. At least half after the local base. We have to have a system where the under 17s, under 20, under 23, they have to be in a year-round camp.
Mm-hmm.
In and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. When they're not training with the national team, or not playing with the national team, they're playing with the clubs. And when we have the big international, then you bring in the 2 or 3 players that play in the US or England to come and play. But you have to have the core in Jamaica. Have to. And they have, that's how we're gonna get, that's how they're gonna develop.
Right.
And just watch this. This under 14 team, 2024, see how many of these players are going to be in the under 17 next time. Rather than that, just watch. If we're going on this path, there is no consistency.
Right.
The clubs have to come together and have to make sure. So this is all right, Jamaica. If anybody's going to mash it up, let players from Jamaica mash it up. Yeah? We have the tools. We just need to work with them and give them opportunities. Players have something to look forward to.
Right.
Yeah? Not everybody can be a boat. Yeah, and run track. Someone can play ball. That is the only way out. We're not giving these players more way out. And that's why the crime goes up and up and up and up in Jamaica, because some of the talented people are not getting real opportunities to perform. What happened to the kid that don't have 5 or 6 subjects, but him can play ball. But because he's 19 and I'm play for Waterhouse, I'm play for a Port, or I'm play for a Dumble Holland. No, then him not get a good chance on the side. Probably get 1 game and that is it. Let's give the youth them a chance. We're not getting fair chances. That is my opinion. And everything I said so far is my opinion.
Right. Okay then, Paul. Again, thanks much for stopping by and talking with us. I hope the powers that be were listening and they will make some adjustments. And like I said, I would have seen the interest started from Hal Grimson. Like I said, he would have had a number
Yes, he did.
of
Yeah.
coaching clinics locally, and they would have gotten some international games for the local based players to play. I'm guessing this is Steve McLaren's first assignment. He wants to put on a good show, so he's calling for the tried and true players. But I'm hoping, like you said, going forward, we will see more local heroes of football that we can cheer for and cheer on. We can buy the jersey with the names in the back and stuff like that.
Yes. Yeah, we have to be able to identify the players them, from the communities. Yeah, we have to be able to do that. That's how you're going to get out the funds.
Right.
Trust me. That's how you're going to reduce the crime. The players them have to get a chance.
Right.
A fair chance.
Okay then, blessings. And thanks again, Paul, for stopping by and talking with us.
Yeah, man. Anytime.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, that was Paul Young, former reggae boy. We take a break and we come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
Outperform, outlast, guilty. We top performance, guilty. Chakama, reliable, full stop, not comma. We have the expertise for drilling and demolition. We have the power tools for plumbers and electrician. Fancy select tools, 3 parts and 3 repairs. 3 parts, 3 repairs. 2 to 3 years. Hilton, available at Delta Supply, 106 Hagley Park Road. Call us at 876-302-61114. Delta Supply. We service what we sell.
Tune in to Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Stay ahead of the curve with our cutting-edge reporting and accurate breaking news coverage.
We are having an earthquake. Oh, God.
Hear it here first on Nationwide 90 FM.
Is that really Clip News starting?
Tune in, turn up the volume, and listen. We bring a mix of news, entertainment, and sports to your lives.
Nationwide 90 FM's live and continuous coverage of the World Championships in Budapest, Hungary.
News and discussions week mornings.
Coming up in the news at 6 for this morning.
Entertainment in the afternoons, then news again in the evenings.
Nationwide news at this hour, fired.
Also, tune in to the entertainment and sports shows in the nights and on the weekends.
It is Boy Things After Dark right here on Nationwide 90 FM.
Everything is news, from current affairs and entertainment to sports, business, and other categories.
Nationwide 90 FM. This is Beanie Man. Give it to them. Zaga, Zen.
From every whisper to every commotion.
That's rubbish. The KSAMC cannot investigate itself.
Was Clip News really talking like that?
Every news story unfolds here first at Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Every sound is a story, and every story we share is news.
But is this real? Hey Greg, come look at this. Oh my, it's happening. Mr. Daniels, the numbers keep getting bigger and bigger.
Sir, the clicks are off the charts.
Hello, sales? What's the emergency? 9,000 clicks in one day? 3,000 order? So much we have left? What? I soon call you back. Mr. Nakamoto, it's Danny from Jamaica. I need 5,000 of the big ones. We're back in business.
Yes, sir. Arigato. Suene.
Amplify your brand. Let Nationwide 90 FM assist you in tapping into a captivated audience across our social media platforms. For more information, contact us at 876-630-1210 or sales@nationwidenewsnetwork.com. Businesses, companies, and entrepreneurs, let's supercharge your brand.
Okay, good evening. Welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I am Alex Raby working with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass. Now, let me say congratulations to Denby High Under 16 team. They won the inaugural Youth Summer Invitational. That's the Netball Jamaica Youth Summer Invitational. They beat the Jamaica Under 16s 37-31. That's the first taste of defeat the Jamaica Under 16 experience in that tournament. Congratulations to Denby High School Coach Nevers, that's Winston Nevers, for winning the inaugural, like I said, Netball Jamaica Youth Summer Invitational. They were awarded with the Marva Bernard Cup and a special commendation also to the other participating teams, that's Norman Manley High and Gainsted High. They would have stepped in to bridge the gap left by the Trinidad and Tobago on the 16 and on the 18 who were to visit Jamaica and play in this tournament. However, due to flight challenges, they were unable to come. However, that series, that matchup has been rescheduled for September 20 and 22, and that would be at the Stadium Courts, Leela Robinson Courts. And Trinidad and Tobago on the 16 and on the 18, they will visit Jamaica to take on our under 16s and some of our high school teams. Let me give you a quick roundup as to what happened in the English Premier League earlier today. Now, Arsenal, they drew 1-1 with Brighton. And that's 10-man Arsenal would have draw 1-1 with Brighton. And Brentford, they would have beat Southampton 3-1. Everton, they went down 3-2 against Bournemouth. Ipswich Town, they drew 1-1 with Fulham. Leicester City, they lost 2-1 against Aston Villa. Nottingham Forest, they held Wolves to a 1-1 draw. West Ham United, they lost 3-1 against Manchester City, and Erling Haaland would have scored an hat-trick today. That's his second hat-trick of the season so far. So he's 7 goals in 3 matches. So Erling Haaland is back to his usual form. But we'll be talking some horse racing now, as the 4th running of the Winston Fanner Griffiths Classic is set for Caymanas Park on September 7 and 8. Griffiths, a Hall of Fame jockey, has the record for the most wins, 1,664. Racing Secretary at Caymanas Park, Denzel Miller, says the 9.5 furlong race is a much anticipated event at Caymanas Park.
This event allows for a maximum field of 12 thoroughbreds with a purse of 3.75 million Jamaican dollars. It's named for Winston Fanner Griffiths OD, Racing's Hall of Fame inductee, a jockey with the most wins, the most classic wins, 43 at Caymanas Park. This year we have upped the ante. The event will be extended and run as a 2-day racing event on September the 7th and 8th. We have invited leading Charlestown jockey, the famed multiple graded stakes winner, Arnaldo Boca Chica.
Okay, so that was Racing Secretary Denzel Miller. And we have the man online, Denzel Miller. Good evening and welcome to the show.
Hi, Alric. Good evening. Thanks for having me. Good evening, Jamaica and the rest of the world. How are you?
I'm good, and it's a pleasure having you. This is the 44th running of the Winston Fanner Griffiths Classics.
The fourth running.
It's the fourth, running of the Fanner Griffiths. September 7 and 8, 2 days. I mean, is it that it's growing in popularity so much that you had to have a second day? Why 2 days?
Well, as part of our promotion, our ongoing improvement of the product here at Caymanas Park, our team here constantly go in search and plan to make adjustments that will suit our wagering public and fans. New things are always on the horizon. We open the doors for new events and excitement. And we expect that these things will go on for as long as we are here. as a team and make racing even more exciting than it ever was.
Right. Tell me something. This is the fourth staging, and what has been the reception? How much of racing fans? Well, I must say how much because I know how much horse racing persons love Winston Fanner Griffiths. There's no one in the horse racing community that does not know who Winston Fanner Griffith is. But how much of a support has this race meet been receiving for the past 3 years?
The support has been exceptionally good. And, Winston is not only loved by horse racing fans, but Winston is a household name in Jamaica and around the Caribbean, His achievements have been winning the most races in the English-speaking Caribbean during his career is really a huge achievement. Multiple stakes-winning rides. He's partnered so many different horses that eventually became horse of the year animals, and he's brought so many dreams to owners with his talent and his horsemanship skills. I don't think there's a finer rider than Winston, other than a few who may match strides with him. But he's a true gentleman of the game. He's now for his talent into training. He's not started a horse yet,
right?
But his riding talent is just astronomical.
Right. Denzel, I'm going to ask you to hold the line a bit. We're going to jump over to the Roper Cup for a live report from Wayne Walker. But I'm going to ask you to stay on the line, and we'll join you right after we talk with Wayne.
Sure.
Wayne, good evening again. I understand that you have the coach of St. George's.
No, the coach of Kingston College.
Okay.
The Roper Cup has ended, and it's 0-0 between the current teams. And we have Vassar Reynolds, the coach of Kingston College, standing beside me, which means Kingston College has won the Roper Cup because it's the aggregate between the under 40 who won their game by 2-1. So they won the Roper Cup 2-1. But let's move away from the Roper Cup in and of itself. Schoolboy football starts next week, Vassar Reynolds. Last year, you had a very, very good run in your debut season as Kingston College coach. Where are we now as far as KC is concerned?
As you rightfully said, we had a very good season with a fairly young team last year. So much is expected of us to do better, and that's the aim. We really want to go one better this year. So we're really deliberately preparing this team to go deep in the competition. Hopefully we can do that. But one of the things that we plan to do is just take it game by game. I think we're at now, we're about 75-80% ready. So we should be fine for the first 2 or 3 games, and then we expect this team to play better as the competition progresses.
How's preseason gone for you?
Not bad. Performance inconsistent at time, but I thought that based on our objectives that we had through the preseason in terms of games and training, I thought we would have achieved most of our objectives. Albeit there are a couple of challenges, but I thought we did well in terms of managing those challenges. So I think we are on the right track.
How many of the boys you've kept back from last season?
Pretty much from the entire squad, we would have lost four players, 4 starters. But we would have introduced 10 or 11 youngsters last year. Hopefully, that last year experience would have made them a better player this year. And hopefully they can put their foot forward. The other senior players that remain, hopefully they can give their best and help us to achieve our goal this year.
When did you start your preseason?
We're about 8-9 weeks in, which is pretty good. But the hurricane would have set us back a couple of days. It was the same thing for the other team, so we have to forego that and just get going. Over the next week and a half, we have some work to put in. But as I said before, I expect this team to start slowly and make some improvement as the competition progresses.
Mm-hmm. One last question, because we have to run back with a live interview in studio. This game against St. George's College today, what did you make of it?
I thought it was a pretty good game. I thought George's had the better position. But what we did, we know they would do that. So the plan was to allow them to do it in areas that it wouldn't hurt us. I thought we were a little lethargic at times in terms of our energy and the pressing on the ball. But I thought we get it right for the most part, especially the second half. Both ends opportunities, but I thought we created more of the opportunities and should have scored at least twice. But overall, I thought it was a good fine-tuner for the opener of the season.
Vassar Reynolds, thanks so much for talking to us. All the best for the rest of the season.
Yeah, man. Thanks much.
All right, that's the Kingston College coach, Vassar Reynolds. Alric, thanks for breaking your interview. You can take it back and go back to Denzel.
Okay, Wayne. Yes, we join Denzel Miller. Denzel, you're still with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Right. Let's jump right back into it.
Sure.
The Winston Fanner Griffiths classics. I mean, it has attracted so much attention to the point where we see an international based jockey coming to be a part of this. What would have attracted him to Caymanas Park, and how did the initial contact happen?
Oh well, certainly, we've been engaging quite a few overseas based riders, and we had three riders here on Derby Day, which was just fantastic. And he reached out to our chairman and said, I'm free on this weekend, and he would love to come and be a part of our promotions. And the rest is history. We just await his arrival in the island. Orlando is a leading rider at Monmouth Park. He's won numerous graded races. His career is well over 2,000 winners, and his horsemanship skills are exceptionally good. So with that, we decided let us do a Winston Griffiths Jockeys Championship over the 2-day period. Of course, the main feature event is the Winston Griffiths Classics, and that will take place on Sunday the 8th. It's a 2-day carnival on the 7th. We have 3 races assigned and selected to become part of this championship, and 3 on Sunday. We will name the teams for Winston's favorite horses. The likes of Team Eros would be Arnaldo Boca Chica and O'Neill Mullins. The Viceroy, a lot of people know these two. As a matter of fact, all 6 of these horses are household names. The Viceroy, Team Captain Tevin Foster, partnering with Shane Richardson. Distinctly Irish, a Triple Crown winner also. Radish Roman and Omar Walker will team up for that in honor of Distinctly Irish. Royal Dad, the first Triple Crown winner ever at Caymanas Park, and he was ridden by Winston Griffiths. Robert Halladine and Philip Parchment will do the honors for that team. Legal Light, a champion and a huge household name of the 70s and mid to late 70s into the early 80s. Ryan Lewis, Chavon Townsend, and A King is Born. He was a very fleet-footed thoroughbred who a lot of people thought he could not get the distance of 12 furlongs in the Derby. The rest is history. And that's for Paul Francis and O'Shane Nugent. The teams will compete for first place, 400,000 Jamaican dollars. Second place team, 250. Third place team, 150,000 to be shared between the persons who finish, the teams who finish first, second, and third. And that will bring together what is expected to be a very exciting weekend of thoroughbred racing. We've already offered on the card 19 races, 9 on Saturday and 10 on Sunday. So this championship, Jockey Championship, all in the mix, and the Winston Griffiths Classics. It's a weekend that no person should miss, whether racing or otherwise. You can tune in to our website, caymanasracing.com, and already we have 11 horses nominated for the Classic. And I'll just briefly go down the names for you. Yardy Stables Allegiance, Mrs. De Costa's Come Home to Me, Mr. Carlton Watson's Rosetta, the Success Farms Bold Move, Team of Branton Williams' Captain Sparrow, DSK and Associates Brenda Boy, Ajax Bjorn's Pink Pie. Mr. Watson also has another expected participant in Providence, Unruly Dawn, owned and trained by Oral Hayden, Amma, Ian Prasad, the trainer for PJK team, and Lucy in the Sky from the barn of Jason DaCosta for his mom, Elizabeth DaCosta. So we have a really good lineup set to go over 9.5 furlongs and compete for the $3.75 million purse this weekend.
Right, and tell me, you mentioned the prize money for the first, second, and third in the Classic, the teams. What's there for punters? Anything special?
Well, we have a few things that our marketing team working on right now. I think we have a a guaranteed payout on the weekend in our marquee bet, the Reggae 6, so that punters will have that to look forward to come next weekend. And there are a whole lot of other stuff that we're planning for the weekend. But the racing will be very exciting, as is the norm here at Kimballas Park, only that we've decided to change a lot of things with adding a Jockeys Championship over 2 days. We've never done this before at Kimballas Park. And, you know, Winston is Winston, and he deserves the very best. So we've decided to treat the weekend as such and have this 2-day carnival with the Jockeys Championship just being a part of the whole promotion, along with the fourth running of the Winston Griffiths Classic.
Right, and when you look at what you're seeing, over 3 years, what has punters been saying when they left the park? What was their experience?
Well, my experience is that everybody looks forward to this day. It's a part of the whole 3-year-old campaign, and it kind of closes off the classic program, which started way back in June with the Guineas, and then the St. Leger in July, the Derby in August, and then the Winston Griffiths Classic kind of closes out the show for the 3-year-old program and opens the last 4 months of a whole lot of excitement. The next major event after the Winston Griffiths Classic is the first weekend in October. We have the Philip Tiani Gold Cup. That's another major event here at the park. The second weekend in November, we have the Jamaica Cup as a final prep going into the ultra-rich Mute Mile on the first Saturday in December, which offers a purse of US $250,000. And already we have some 8 horses that are based overseas that have sent us letters of intent, of which 3 of them are actually at the park already. So everything is lining up really strong, and we expect to have a real exciting final 4 months of racing here in Caymanas Park.
Right, and since you mentioned it, let's jump to the Mute Mile. Like you said, there are 8 overseas entrants that have indicated their interest in competing in this race. Tell me what has driven the interest of in the Mute Mile. Is it the purse or the quality of the race, or everything in it combined?
It's a mixture of everything coming together. When we first launched it a few years ago, that was the intent to kind of reignite the energy at the park, and so far so good. It not only has brought fans back here and increased the interest, whether it's through wagering on the platform or just coming to the tracker in our OTVs. It has also ignited interest within the horseman's group in increasing the amount of imported animals we have on the park, so that we can improve the racing quality and, of course, the breeding stock at the end of it all. So everything is, stars are lining up, and it's been a very good initiative by our company and our team, and everyone is looking forward to it. The 8 horses that we have left us from, as I said, 3 are at the park here already. I'll briefly give you their names. 3 are scheduled to arrive in the country in the middle of September, hopefully, and then from there we'll see how they train and go towards the whole excitement of being a participant in the Mute Mile. The ones that are actually on the park already, Share Delight, Trainer Hutchinson has him, Pack Play, Rowan Matty, Barnaby, Anthony Nunez. We expect 3 from Rowan Crichton, who won the race last year with rough entry, to arrive here sometime in the middle of September. Mr. Nunez also had another horse expected to get to Jamaica with the intention of running there. A horse by the name of TikTok, and we also have a filly who raced for the first time in Jamaica about 2 weeks ago called Bear Body. So we have, options there from the US-based horses, and of course, Crown Chaser, as part of the whole promotion, we have some win on year in races, and Crown Chaser was the first horse to to become a concrete entry in the multi-mile by virtue of winning the Derby. He's win on year in already. The next race that is lined up for that would be the Gold Cup, the Jamaica Cup, and the Port Royal Sprint as win on year in events in our Trail to the Mile.
Right, and tell me, apart from this, we know you're in feature. What's the criteria for horses to qualify to compete in the multi-mile?
Well, it's all about earnings from January through to the week before to of the multi-mile. So your top horses are on the property or in prior to January 1, they will have to earn over a certain amount. So the top 10 earners in the country will more than likely participate if all things are equal. But between now and then, with so many more races left to go, those names could gradually change around, So with the exception of Crown Chaser, of course. So it's all about earnings. The more money you earn, the more likely you'd be able to get into the race.
With the popularity of the multi-mile growing, do you think you'll have to split it and have a race 1 and race 2 like the Guinness 1 and Guinness 2?
Certainly not. This kind of event, it's a one-off situation. With that kind of purse money, it won't be divided any at all. Races of this nature are never normally divided anywhere in the world. You just have to be the best to get into the race. So the best are the top 16 earners. Usually are the ones who will participate in these kind of events anywhere around the world that you may visit.
I know RSVL have been working hard to export the product overseas, both to the Caribbean as well as North America. Tell me the fact that you're seeing more interest in the multi-mile as well as several jockeys coming down to compete locally. You think that push has been bearing fruit?
Well, certainly. From the very day after the multi-mile last year, we were already receiving calls of interest. How can they come and be a part of the day? And that has been a consistent conversation with members of our team and overseas-based persons. It was live on Fox Sports last year, and it is our intention for it to go back there. Discussions have already started with them some 2 or 3 months ago, and that's a great opportunity for us, not only as a racing product, but also as a tourism product. The response has just been, let me tell you, I can't find the right word to tell you what the response has been from our overseas-based counterparts. It's just, wow.
Right.
Wow is probably the best word.
Right. And tell me, when the action on the track will be excitement enough, but is there any other activities for punters apart from what's on the track for both the multi-mile and the Winston Fanographics Classics?
Well, that's it. Our team, our brand optimization team, they're still putting the pieces together for the racing fans for the next weekend, September the 7th and 8th. And we will have something in store for each and every one to even participate in as they make their way to the track here. And as we progress towards the multi-mile, everybody just has to stay tuned and check on us on our website regularly to see what's coming up next. Our products have been doing well. We create millionaires here virtually every day, including today. We had a big winner who won, I think, over $5 million today. So we're virtually churning out millionaires almost every race day here at Cayman Park. Not to mention our simulcast.
Right. Okay, then, Denzel, again, thanks much for stopping by and talking with us. We wish you and your team all the best.
Thank you very much for having us, and we look forward to having you here at the park any day you so desire, including next weekend. So there's an open invitation to you and your team to come on out and have some fun with us.
Okay, we'll try and make it. Okay, so that was Denzel Miller, Racing Secretary. We take a break and we come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
It's back to school time again, and KB is making things easy. Shop online, in-store, or via WhatsApp at 876-788-1405 for a chance to win $150,000 cash, a laptop, or a tablet. And it doesn't end there. KB is making everything easy. Pick up in-store or shop online today. Promotion runs from July 15th to September 7th, 2024. Easy, that's the KB difference.
Discover something new. Discover the KB difference.
Authorized under Section 50 of the Betting, Gaming and Lodges Act.
Is this real? Hey, Greg, come look at this. Oh my, it's happening. Mr. Daniels, the numbers keep getting bigger and bigger.
Sir, the clicks are off the charts.
Hello, sales? What's the emergency? 9,000 clicks in one day? 3,000 order? So how much we have left? What? I'll soon call you back. Mr. Nakamoto, it's Danny from Jamaica. I need 5,000 of the big ones. We're back in business.
Yes, sir. Arigato. Suene.
Amplify your brand. Let Nationwide 90 FM assist you in tapping into a captivated audience across our social media platforms. For more information, contact us at 876-630-1210 or sales@nationwidenewsnetwork.com. Businesses, companies, and entrepreneurs, let's supercharge your brand. Tune in to Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Stay ahead of the curve with our cutting-edge reporting and accurate breaking news coverage.
We're having an earthquake. Oh, God.
Hear it here first on Nationwide 90 FM.
Is that really Cliff you stalking?
Tune in, turn up the volume, and listen. We bring a mix of news, entertainment, and sports to your lives.
Nationwide 90 FM's live and continuous coverage of the World Championships in Budapest, Hungary.
News and discussions week mornings.
Coming up in the news at 6 for this morning.
Entertainment in the afternoons, then news again in the evenings.
Nationwide news at this hour, fired.
Also, tune into the entertainment and sports shows in the nights and on the weekends.
It is Boy Things After Dark right here on Nationwide 90 FM.
Everything is news, from current affairs and entertainment to sports, business, and other categories.
Nationwide 90 FM. This is Beanie Man. Give it to them. Zaga, Zen.
From every whisper to every commotion.
That's rubbish. The KSAMC cannot investigate itself.
Was Cliff News really talking like that?
Every news story unfolds here first at Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Every sound is a story, and every story we share is news.
Okay, good evening. Welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I'm Alex. We're working with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass, and we are in our NFL segment now, and we are joined by Jerome Jarrett. And just before I hand over to him, let me remind everyone that tomorrow Manchester United will be hosting Liverpool, and we will continue our destruction of the Red Devils. come tomorrow. But this is the NFL segment, and I hand over to Jerome Jarrett.
I hate good afternoon, listeners. Good afternoon, Alric. I hate to do this, but you have a cup. You have a cup holding anytime recently.
Yes.
Which cup is
the
it?
Carboy cup. Okay. Okay.
Well, anyway, afternoon, Alric. Long time no see. Everything all right?
So far, so good.
Okay. I wish you all the best tomorrow. I wish you. You know, I don't know what's gonna happen in the game.
I know what's gonna happen.
Nervous.
You should be.
I'm a little nervous, but
you should be more than a little. But I mean, the Red against the Red Devils, the devil never win. The Bible tells you that.
Okay. Anything you say. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Good afternoon, Remy Evan. Good afternoon, Paul Vaughan. Everybody all right?
Yeah, man. We're good, man. What's up?
Yes, boss. Greetings.
Yeah, I'm surrounded by Liverpool faithful, so but I'm strong. I can handle myself. It's the NFL segment, and we have a lot to talk about this week. The season gets underway on Thursday. I think we gave some wrong information last week that the season would have gotten underway last week Thursday, but the season actually begins this Thursday coming with the Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens. Many people, including both of you, think the Ravens are gonna be a much better team this season and go deep into the playoffs. I'm yet to see it, so I'll hold my comment on that for another segment. But let's just jump into the news. Russell Wilson was made starter for the Pittsburgh Steelers earlier this week, chosen over Justin Fields. I'll start with Paul. Paul, clearly the gap is not wide between Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. Many people feel like he's been given the nod because he's the veteran, but he has maybe the smallest leash of any quarterback in the league this season. How you feel about Russell Wilson being made the starter in Pittsburgh?
I mean, I'm not entirely surprised. I think it was really a situation where if Justin Fields couldn't step in and convince Coach Tomlin that he was just going to take it from Russell Wilson on the virtue of his play during practice and in preseason, that he was just going to go with a veteran. But generally speaking, I mean, this doesn't wow me, especially when you look at a situation where they're in a division which had some of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. You're talking about Lamar Jackson, you're talking about Joe Burrow, and them not being in a situation where they have a piece or a quarterback who can go toe-to-toe with those guys. It really doesn't leave in a scenario where if you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, you're very confident.
Remy, Pittsburgh has been title town for some time. I think they're tied for the most championships, or second with the most championships in the league history. This is not the Pittsburgh Steelers we've come to know and believe in. Some persons may have felt that Mike Tomlin shouldn't have been retained there in Pittsburgh. Do you have any confidence that Mike Tomlin can turn this thing around in Pittsburgh? Remy, you're there?
I think we lost him.
I'm not hearing Remy. But Paul, yeah, let me ask you: do you think Mike Tomlin has the confidence of the Pittsburgh Steelers locker room to turn this thing around?
I mean, he has the confidence of the ownership and the organization on a whole. They gave him a contract renewal. I think from the perspective of him being able to consistently at least have a winning season for that organization, it gives him the clout to come back and be the head coach of that team for another year. But they're at a point right now where just having a winning record is not enough. I think, again, to go back to the point that you are talking about competition at the quarterback position that is unlike almost any other division. The Pittsburgh Steelers, as Tomlin said, the standard is the standard. And what they have right now is not what we're accustomed to with them. So at some point, it has to really kind of change and pivot, and you don't have a horse, or, you don't have a chance in the ring if you don't have a quarterback.
Yeah, talking about quarterback, Remy, you back with us?
Yeah, man, I'm here. Sorry about that.
Yeah, man, no problem. The New England Patriots have named Jacoby Brissett the quarterback. We saw some good things from the rookie, Drake May, in the preseason. again, this could be another band-aid. We've seen Jacoby Brissett. We know what Jacoby Brissett is. Do you think this was the right move made by the New England Patriots to give the keys to the opening week to Jacoby Brissett?
No, that one's for me, Jerome.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, because coming into the draft, remember, one of the things about Drake May that was being bantered around is that he's a project. He has a lot of arm talent. He has a high upside, but according to the draft experts, he is not ready this year. He's probably a year away from starting. And we know in the NFL that things can change. He might be the start of mid-season or maybe early, depending on how Jacoby Brissett plays. But from what I understand, what the Patriots are going to try to do is, go with a manager, a veteran who's a game manager. Run the ball, rely on the defense, and make some plays here and there. I don't think they want to put Drake May in a position where he can make mistakes and ultimately cost him the game, as we saw with Matt Jones a series of times last year. So I'm not surprised by this move. I think it's a safe move. I think for right now it is a correct move, and we just have to monitor May's progress as the season goes along.
But Remy, you see the New England Patriots roster. I dare you to name one person who's going to make a Pro Bowl this season. They appear to be in a mode. The team devoid of talent. Chances are they're going to be picking the high end of the draft next season again. Why not just put the rookie out there?
Because when you pick a quarterback third overall, and if you're going with the logic that you are putting him out there with a team that is devoid of talent, how does that help your quarterback? It's going to destroy the young man's confidence, whereas a veteran, battle scarred, grizzled veteran has seen a lot, is better equipped to handle a situation like that. So I don't have a problem with them, going with Brissett right now and giving, Drake May a chance to sit and observe and, get a feel for how the NFL game is. Because it's a big jump from college to NFL.
Well, Paul, Deion Sanders famously say you don't learn holding a clipboard. Do you think this is the right move?
I absolutely think it's the right move. I think, I for one, I'm tired of the whole notion that having a quarterback come in fresh out of college and he's just going to start day one and be excellent is the norm. Let's make no mistake. What happened in Houston was an aberration. Like, even what happened with Patrick Mahomes, he had to sit a little bit with Alex Smith being there. What about developing the quarterback position? I think that art is lost. And let's make no mistake that New England offensive line is non-existent. We saw what happened to Matt Jones. I think they're looking at Drake May and they're saying, look, if we really want to develop a young quarterback, we have to at least put him in a position to succeed. We're seeing everything we're seeing in Chicago right now, and people are talking about them making a turn because they've given their young rookie quarterback every opportunity, including talent, around him so that he can step in immediately and be successful. So I'm all on board with what New England is doing.
I for one, I'm not. I think the rookie should go out there. New England is a bad team. They're going to be picking first next season. You have to see. Not anymore. You have to see what you have in the rookie quarterback. You have to throw him out there to the Wolves week one. You don't get better sitting on the sidelines. And talking about the sidelines, the New York Jets appear to be in turmoil. There are reports coming out of New Jersey that Aaron Rodgers is not gelling well with the team. Remy, you're an Aaron Rodgers fan. You're an Aaron Rodgers supporter.
I didn't
you are. For the sake of this argument, you are.
Okay, all right. I'll play the role. Sure, go ahead. I'll roll with it. Why not?
What is happening in New York? Like I thought Aaron Rodgers bought into the Jets way of doing things last season. You saw him showing up early. You saw him doing and saying all the right things. What happened?
Hold on a second.
Remy seems like he's having some technical issues. Paul?
I'm here.
You're here. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that we have to keep in mind is that Aaron Rodgers has a eccentric type of personality. Him can be a little bit off-putting. He's a graduate at Cal Berkeley, which is basically seen as like an Ivy League West. So, remember, he sometimes comes off as condescending and believes that he's better than everybody else. And I can see how he rubs teammates the wrong way. I'm not really sure what is going on in New York. But I think that it's a situation where I think last year he came in and made some, guarantees about, the lone Lombardi Trophy the Jets have, look kind of lonely, and he kind of sees the Jets as an immediate contender. This is before, of course, tearing his Achilles, 5 plays into the season. And for all we know, maybe he's holding his teammates to a higher standard and he's really pushing them and playing a bad guy in practice and in the meetings or whatever. Maybe he doesn't like what he's seeing. And I think we just have to give it some time before those reports come out. But just have to wait and see.
So you think it's going to work in New York with Aaron Rodgers and that young team? Especially that defensive head coach. And nobody seemed to buy Mike Hackett as the offensive play caller. You buy that the hype around the Jets is real?
Well, I'm not sure how much hype they're getting. I mean, I think that when you have a surefire Hall of Fame quarterback and a multiple MVP replacing Zach Wilson and whoever else they had to try and play quarterback last season, of course there's going to be some buzz, and rightly so. The thing is, I mean, I would say when I look at the Jets, there is, a healthy skepticism because the last time Aaron Rodgers played a full season is 2 years ago, and the man is touching 40. So, it doesn't get any easier when you get older. And we really just have to wait and say, I mean, he is a difference maker when he's playing at his best or near to his best. And like I said before, he's definitely better than anybody they had before. I'm sure Garrett Wilson, who is a beast of a receiver, is overjoyed that he finally has a real quarterback to throw the ball. So you need a quarterback to compete, as Paul said, and, we all agree on that. And I think if Aaron Rodgers is 75-80% of his capabilities, I think the Jets will be in the playoff discussion.
Well, I mean, anyway, let's talk about wide receivers. Jamar Chase remains a holdout in Cincinnati, Paul. This guy has seen all these wide receivers getting these $120, $130, $140 million contracts. While he's saying, but I'm better than all these guys and I'm not getting my money. What's happening? Do you think the Cincinnati Bengals are playing with fire with Jamar Chase?
I think so. I mean, look, it's not even about Jamar Chase. It's really about Joe Burrow. That guy needs Jamar out there to be as productive as he's been in the last couple of seasons, especially when you're going against Patrick Mahomes and you have aspirations of going to a Super Bowl. The young man still has two years, I believe, on his current contract, but you're looking at a scenario whereby, from a market perspective, everybody else is getting paid, and he's just as good. I mean, Justin Jefferson might be there as the number one wide receiver in the league, but I put him right there in that second tier of players. That's pretty much A1 compared to his A+. And not paying him is so Cincinnati. I mean, their ownership is considered historically one of the more cheapest organizations in the league.
Frugal,
and not giving him his money and then robbing Joe Burrow of a very vital weapon. I think he's playing with fire.
Yeah, and they also have a disgruntled number 2 in Higgins. I mean, Remy,
he's leaving next season.
You have the Cincinnati Bengals as one of the top tier teams. Given what's happening with the front office, do you still think that team is a top tier team?
Well, they're not a top tier team if Jamar Chase is not on the field. Let's just keep it real. They lost Joe Mixon. I know they have a backup running back. I mean, I know the narrative nowadays is that running backs are expendable and interchangeable and blah blah blah. But
not Joe Mixon.
But what I will say is that Jamar Chase is an absolute alien. I mean, there is no cornerback that can cover him one-on-one for an entire game, and he opens up so much for the rest of their offense, including T. Higgins. I'm not sure T. Higgins is a number one anywhere else. I mean, he's a very good number 2. But I think that if the Bengals are smart and they're trying to capitalize on, really making a run at Lombardi, it will be the first in their franchise history. I think you put pen to paper and you make something happen with Jamar Chase and stop fooling around.
Yeah. So with 2 years left on your contract, though, I mean, I know teams will say, if he wasn't performing, then teams will say he didn't live up to the contract. But with 2 years left on your contract, does your contract really mean anything if you're going to hold out with 2 years left on your contract?
But he's outperformed the contract by leaps and bounds.
Yeah, but you signed the contract.
Paid $4.7 million. You're talking about somebody who's drastically outperformed it. Again, Justin Jefferson is great. I'm not going to argue that. People could put a reasonable discussion on the table that Jamar Chase is right there with him. As far as him coming into the league, he's had 2 or 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons in situations where he's usually double covered. The man is incredible. Pay the kid his money.
Yeah, it needs to happen. So the season starts on Thursday. We many people think this is possibly not the first time we're going to see the Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens meet in the playoffs. Paul, let me start with you first. What are you expecting from this game, and do you think this is a preview of the AFC Championship?
And honestly, I think it could be. In fact, if I was a betting guy, I would say this is a matchup that you'd see in the AFC Championship. As far as the game itself, I'm looking to see a Kansas City team that is going back to the days of a Tyreek Hill, whereby Patrick Mahomes now has weapons, basically from a wide receiver position that can get down the field, and that really opens up the playbook for Andy Reid and allows him to do so much more as if he needed any help and any more weapons. But on the Baltimore Ravens side, I think they're going to approach this as basically a get-back game. They really and truly shouldn't have lost that matchup against Kansas City last year in the playoffs. And they have a Derrick Henry now where they can stick to their character and their personality and run the ball. And I think as a first game, we have something very entertaining, but I think Baltimore will come out and win.
Remy, what?
Oh, Paul, you say you're picking Baltimore?
No, we don't we don't pick the game in. We don't pick the game in.
Oh,
we just want to break it down a little bit more.
Okay.
So Remy, we've seen Lamar Jackson in the regular season. Mm-hmm. He has 2 MVPs. We've seen him light it up. We've seen him beat Kansas City Chiefs in the regular season. But in the playoffs, when the rubber meets the road and it gets cold, we've seen Lamar laid a couple eggs against this same team. Mm-hmm. If he wins this game, does it mean anything to you?
It means that he beat the Chiefs in week 1. That's it. I mean, there's a whole lot of football left.
That's a good answer.
There's a whole lot. I mean, we can't really write any narratives or script anything at this stage. It's the first game of the season. I think it's going to be a really entertaining game, and I agree with Paul. I think this has the makings of a classic grudge match, and this is why you love the NFL. I mean, they know how to market a league, and they know how to put marquee matchups in the right spot. I think this is going to be a really, really entertaining game.
So Paul, outside of the fact that it's a week 1 win, is there any moral victory that Baltimore can take from this game? And if Kansas City wins this game, what does it say for the psyche of the Baltimore Ravens moving forward?
I mean, it's difficult to say. I don't think it really matters to Kansas City how the game goes one way or the another. It's still a week 1 matchup. We're still talking about a situation where, particularly for Kansas City, they have bigger aspirations. It's really the full body of work for them. For Baltimore, I think one could argue that it's somewhat of a psychological boost to give them a sense that they can beat this team, but it's not going to matter until you get to that point in the playoffs where it's win or go home. Ultimately, you want to basically see where you are as a team after a long training camp and a long preseason, and you want to go out there and perform and be efficient. So I think for both teams, this might really pan out to be a situation where they're feeling each other out and kind of displaying some of the things that they would have acquired in the offseason.
And before we pick this game, let's move on to the Friday night game, because there's going to be a game in Brazil, South Park, Brazil, the Green Bay Packers against the Philadelphia Eagles. A lot of people are high on the Green Bay Packers, Remy, based on the play of Jordan Love 8 games last season. Mm-hmm. Do you see that continuing? Are you as high as everybody else on Jordan Love? And do you see the Packers as one of those teams that's going to be contending at the end in January and February next year?
I thought what Jordan Love did for that 8-game stretch was very impressive. But I am one of those people that I need to see more. He still is a young quarterback, and You have to remember that the other teams have an entire off season to look at film and to get an idea of what Matt LaFleur likes to do, what his tendencies are, and how he likes to, use the skill set of his young quarterback. So I'm still in wait and see mode, and they're going up against one of the godfathers of defense in Vic Fangio. So stay tuned.
So what Paul? Let me ask you: the Philadelphia Eagles are your team. What move did the Philadelphia Eagles make this year that gives you confidence coming out of last year? They lost 8 of their last 9 games last season.
You love that stat, don't you?
They were abysmal towards the end of the season. Many people thought Sirianni should have been fired. There are reports this offseason that Jalen Hurts don't rate him none at all. What have you seen from your Philadelphia Eagles that give you confidence that they are taking another step this year?
I'm happy you brought up that statistic, and you also mentioned all of the issues that they've been having with the quarterback and the head coach. If I'm going to put a positive spin on this and then respond directly to what you're saying, I think it's some of the decisions that they've made with the coordinators for that team, both offensively and defensively. Whatever the scenarios is, it's clear that, in my mind at least, there's some loss of respect that team has for Nick Sirianni. Vic Fangio and even the Wonder Boy from the Cowboys who's come over and he's now our OC, they know what they're doing. I'm concerned. I will admit it to you. I'm concerned because it's a very unconventional way of having a leadership structure whereby you have a head coach with 2 coordinators who seem to be very, very independent of him. But that being said, this is an Eagles team that we need to do better on defense more than anything else. And if anyone can do it, I think Fangio has the kind of scheme and personality to get them right and get the most out of those players, because our defense, more than anything, was abysmal last year.
Yeah, Remy, Jalen Hurts seemed like he missed Coach Steichen more than anybody else, more than any other quarterback missed their head coach last season.
Mr. OC, yeah, I get you.
What are you expecting from Jalen Hurts this season? Before last season, he was made mention as one of the top quarterbacks in the league. I think he was voted either 3rd or 4th by the players last season. I don't think he made the top 100 this year. What are you expecting from Jalen Hurts moving forward, or this season in particular?
I think Jalen Hurts is going to have a bounce back year. We also have to keep in mind that he battled a knee injury at the latter part of the season, and we know that mobility is a big part of his game as well. And I think that he has confidence in Kellen Moore, who's by all intents and purposes is a good offensive coordinator, and he also has new weapons in Saquon Barkley and getting Josh Dotson from Washington. So when you look at the skill positions of, you're welcome. When you look at the skill positions of Philly, they rank right up there. I mean, Jalen Hurts he has a high football IQ. He's a hard worker. I mean, he is an intense competitor, and I expect great things from him this season. So I don't think we're going to see the same floundering Eagles at the end. And as far as the leadership structure goes, I think it is best served for Sirianni to be what is known as a CEO coach, where he just oversees the operation, and the team is actually being run by the coordinators, similar to what is going on in Baltimore, which has worked for years with John Harbaugh. So sometimes part of being a good leader is understanding the structure, hiring, capable, employees, capable coaches, and simply just getting out of the way and allowing them to do what they do.
Yeah, but talking about coaches, why do we think that Kellen Moore is a coach? He's on his 3rd team in 3 years. Why do we, Paul? What has Kellen Moore done that has given you the confidence that he's a good coach?
Well, as much as I hate to say it, he made Dak Prescott. He made that Dallas Cowboys offense one of the more prolific offenses.
That's what we thought. That's what we thought.
No, he did. I mean, what Mike McCarthy is doing right now is not essentially much different from what Kellen Moore is doing. He still threw the ball way more than he ran it because he didn't have the personnel to run the ball. Kellen Moore, in my mind, is not only someone who can go to Philadelphia and have them run a spread offense, but he knows how to use weapons. And when you have a Saquon Barkley who is multi-talented himself, both in the run and the pass, those weapons, along with the wide receivers we have, and then we have Dotson again from the Commanders, which I'm grateful for. You're talking about an offense that, again, was never the problem. It was really our defense, and an offense that I expect to do well in this new season.
You're a lot more confident that time. So let's pick these games. We have a few minutes. Let's pick these games. Let's start with Kansas City hosting the Baltimore Ravens. Remy, I'll let you go this one first. Kansas City get the week 1 W?
No, I'm going to go with the Ravens. I just think, right now they are in grudge match mode. We know how Baltimore can be a bully. I think there's a lot of pressure on the Chiefs. Going for this three-peat. I think they might be feeling themselves a little bit. Baltimore flying below the radar. Having Derrick Henry, I think, will keep them true to their identity. It will also open up the passing game, and I think that the Ravens can pull out a close game. I don't expect it to be a high-scoring game at all, and I think Baltimore wins it.
Paul, you see Baltimore spoiling Kansas City, ring ceremony and flag dropping, and Andy Reid coming off a bye. Well, he's the first game of the season. You think Andy Reid, being the coach he is gonna allow a Baltimore Ravens team coming in Arrowhead and beat him?
I don't think it's about allowing a team to come and beat you. At the end of the day, you're going to go there and play a football game and be competitive. But I just think for Baltimore, this first game of the season means more. And at the end of the day, we're going to assume them to be the same vaunted defense that they've always been, and that offense to be as prolific as it's always been. And they stick to the run if they have an opportunity to use it. They should win this game. It boils down to me not only to Derrick Henry, but Lamar Jackson realizing that, at some point you have to use the talents that you have. If everything else breaks down, don't just stay in the pocket and tap the ball. You can actually run. And that being said, you never want to go against 15, but something just tells me that Baltimore wants to make a statement. I don't expect it to be a blowout, but I think it will be extremely entertaining and a great way to open the NFL season. And Baltimore wins.
All right, I don't see that happening. I think Baltimore is going to play well, but Kansas City, Taylor Swift is going to be in the house. Travis Kelce just got a big, mega deal for his podcast, and Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs going for a three-peat. It's not going to happen. Baltimore Ravens just not going to go in Kansas City and beat them. It's not going to happen. So give me the Kansas City Chiefs, and until somebody beat the Kansas City Chiefs, I'm on the Kansas City Chiefs bandwagon. Friday night. Okay. We don't normally get football on a Friday night, but I'll take it. The Philadelphia Eagles. Who's the home team in this game, Paul?
Philly.
I believe it's the Green Bay.
Okay, neither you can agree on that. But the game is going to be played in Brazil, so I'm not even sure who is the home team in this game. So let me start. I believe it's going to be at altitude. I don't know if that favors one team over the other. Both of these teams are used to playing in cold weather. Remy, let me start with you. Who you give the edge in this game and why?
I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles. I just think overall they're the more talented team. I think that the issues that they had defensively, which is against the pass, I think will be remedied by one Mr. Vic Fangio. Plus, they added some pieces to the secondary. They got the best defensive cornerback in the draft, and I think he is going to be starting at day one.
True.
They still have a fierce pass rush. And I don't think Green Bay matches up well with the Eagles' defense. As a matter of fact, this season, I don't think many teams are going to match up well with the Eagles.
As you talk about the pass rush, is that team is going to be as good without Hassan Reddick and that guy in the middle, Hall of Famer?
You're talking Fletcher Cox?
Fletcher Cox. Is that team is going to be as good without Hassan Reddick and Fletcher Cox in the middle?
Well, I think the team is going to be really good from the pass rush standpoint because they have two mammoth defensive tackles that are good at, stuffing the run and playing the pass in Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. You can't block any of those guys one-on-one, and what that does is it frees up the guys on the outside. So they will get pressure. The real problem with them, because they had pressure last year, but the back end really let them down, and I don't think that's going to happen this year. I like Philly to win this game.
Paul, you sound like you're hearing everything you want to hear. It sounds like music to your ears. Do you agree?
Whatever. I mean, the truth is, Remy hit the nail on the head.
I'm sure you'd say that.
It's the defense in general. In particular, it's our secondary. I mean, we address that by not only drafting well, but also bringing back people like Gardner Johnson in the safety position, who knows that defense. And again, with a new defensive coordinator, that I believe, will get the best out of these players. I expect them to play well. Make no mistake, though. I said this last season before he was even playing well. Jordan Love is the truth. And while I want to see more from him, if he continues along that path, that this game is going to be extremely entertaining. However, for me, I'm looking at not only what the Eagles will be doing on defense, and improved defense, but also on offense that I think people will find it difficult to find answers for, because we have weapons almost in every position. And I expect the Eagles to win that game against Green Bay. I'm going to go with them.
All right. I don't like anything I hear coming out of Philadelphia Eagles. I don't like anything I hear. Jalen Hurts saying the coach can't coach. They giving Saquon Barkley a big contract when nobody else was willing to do it. Bringing back pretty much the entire secondary that you guys are saying was a bad secondary last year. I mean, plus they lost their best pass rusher in the offseason. They traded him away. I don't like anything about the Philadelphia Eagles this season. I must tell you guys that. I already predicted that they are not making the playoffs, and I'm going to stick to that. I think Green Bay Packers are an ascending team. I think Green Bay Packers are one of those teams that are well coached. Nobody. They don't have the big names, but it's a team that has about 4 wide receivers that are really good, 2 tight ends that are really good, and a defense that's playing. Give me the Green Bay Packers in this game to win.
How come you don't talk about the Green Bay's very porous run defense against Saquon Barkley? It's nice that you leave that out. I love confirmation.
Saquon Barkley is an average running back. I'm
average running back.
Saquon Barkley doesn't scare anybody.
Run defense. Average running back.
That
defense is like Swiss cheese.
Saquon Barkley scares nobody. Nobody.
I could run for 100 yards against the Packers defense.
All right, let's see what happens. Then Saquon is going to run for 200. So put some money on it. Saquon is going to run for 200. So this week we have Paul and Remy are Baltimore Ravens over the Kansas City Chiefs. I am the Kansas City Chiefs over the Baltimore Ravens. Both of you guys say the Philadelphia Eagles should win, and I'm on Green Bay. What's new? We disagree. But there are some exciting games coming up next week.
Perfect way to start the season.
Perfect way to start the season. But there are some good games coming up next week Sunday, and we'll pick some of those next week Saturday. But anyway, gentlemen, thanks for joining. Have a good week, and we look forward to some football on Thursday and Friday, and some good games over the weekend. All right?
All right, you take care.
Blessings.
Yeah, man. All right. We'll be back with more here on Sports Nation Live.
Share in the experience at Fontana Pharmacy. We have a wide variety of items in store just for you. Fill your prescriptions while you shop. And senior citizens enjoy 10% off. Shop household, cosmetics, toys, and many other departments. We also offer curbside pickup and delivery. Visit our website at fontanapharmacy.com. Fontana Pharmacy, where it's all good inside.
The following hurricane tip is brought to you by Isratech Jamaica Limited. In the event of a hurricane, ensure that there is adequate amount of water harvesting done prior to the hurricane. The preceding hurricane tip was brought to you by Isratech Jamaica Limited. Telephone 876-754-5443.
Tune in to Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Stay ahead of the curve with our cutting-edge reporting and accurate breaking news coverage.
We're having an earthquake. Oh, God.
Hear it here first on Nationwide 90 FM.
Is that really clip you starting?
Tune in, turn up the volume, and listen. We bring a mix of news, entertainment, and sports to your lives.
Nationwide 90 FM's live and continuous coverage of the World Championships in Budapest, Hungary.
News and discussions week mornings.
Coming up in the news news at 6 for this morning.
Entertainment in the afternoons, then news again in the evenings.
Nationwide news at this hour. Fired.
Also tune in to the entertainment and sports shows in the nights and on the weekends.
It is Boy Things After Dark right here on Nationwide 90 FM.
Everything is news, from current affairs and entertainment to sports, business and other categories.
Nationwide 90 FM. This is Benjamin. Give it to them. Zaga, Zen.
From every whisper to every commotion.
That's rubbish. The KSAMC cannot investigate itself.
Was Click News really talking like that?
Every news story unfolds here first at Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. Every sound is a story, and every story we share is news.
Okay, good evening. Welcome back to Sports Nation Live. I'm Alric Swaby, working with Kevin Williams on the other side of the glass, my technical operator. We'll be talking some golf now, as we'll be talking about the 10th annual Latin American Travel Advisory Golf Tournament at Sandals Uptown Estate Golf and Country Club. And we're joined to discuss that a bit by Director of Operations, Jonathan Newham. Jonathan, good evening. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Alric. Good evening.
Good evening. This is the 10th staging of this tournament. Tell me, how much has it grown over the years?
Yeah, it's grown year after year. From this one for the Latin America region. So we have golfers and travel agents coming from all throughout the South America and Central America region. And this year, Sandals Ochi is usually the host, but this year, this particular group will be staying at the recently opened Sandals Duns River. So it's another exciting year where obviously they're having a great experience at the golf course, but they get to wine and dine at our newest resort in Jamaica. So it's going to be a great event this year.
Right, and share with us the format of the tournament.
Right, so it's a 2-day, 4-person team event. This year we have 12 teams competing. Again, the teams are usually of travel agents from either the same country or countries nearby, from Brazil, Peru, Paraguay, all throughout the region. So this year, 12 teams, 4-person on each team. Scramble format, so they play tomorrow is the first round, and then they have another round on Monday, and after the 2 days, the team with the lowest score wins.
Right, and who are the defending champions? Are they back this year?
That I'm not sure. I need to double check, but I know it's been year after year. It's always very, very exciting, and it comes down to the wire.
And I mean, this is largely for fun, but how competitive is it?
Yeah, the scores are normally pretty low. Generally speaking, because it's a scramble format, it's very forgiving. The Latin America one is unique because even though you don't necessarily have to be a golfer to participate, so we have quite a few. Some years we have people who've never played before, but because of the format, it's very user friendly. And then obviously we have our caddies, who are some of the best in the country, that will assist them along. So it's not just about, obviously, the competitive scores, but it's also about having them experience what we have to offer at Upton, but also at the Sandals and Beaches resorts in the region, as well as what us as the island, Jamaica, has to offer as well.
And this is the 10th staging of this tournament. What has been the feedback over the years?
Feedback's been great. I mean, year after year, the guests come and they love it, and they not only love it for themselves, but they write rate reviews, and they're obviously responsible for lots of the bookings that we see in our region. So they love it and then pass on all the good stuff we have to offer to their guests.
This is the 10th staging in any particular activity to commemorate this milestone.
For sure. I mean, staying at Sandals Duns River is one of them. We're going to have a few special events and tours throughout, and then we'll have a nice closing ceremony at Sandals Ochi on Monday night to conclude the event.
Right, and tell me, this is a qualifier for a major tournament. What's the prizes for winning this tournament?
The prize, I'm not sure if it's confirmed this year, but last year the winning team. So generally we have 3 events. So we have the Latin America one, which is this one. We have the USA tournament, and then we have the Canada tournament. And generally, what we've done in the past is the winning team is allowed to go to. We have a bigger global tournament later on in the year, so which is usually held at another course. So that was I can't confirm if that's up for grabs this year, but that has historically been one of the top prizes.
Okay, when you look over the years at this tournament, what's the biggest thing about this tournament?
Just the fact that we're able to showcase what we have to offer. We get to see the year after year the guests come back and they can see the work that we're doing at Upton and the improvement of the facilities, the course, and then obviously this year I'm sure the feedback will be great for those staying at Duns River.
Right. Like you said, and anything new, any twist to the tournament this year?
Nothing new per se from a tournament standpoint, but we're continuing to showcase what we have to offer. I mean, during the tournament we generally showcase our jerk chicken during the tournament, but we're gonna have a few other special F&B food and beverage surprises for our guests to enjoy as well.
Any other partnering with you for this tournament?
For sure. No, it's the Latin America region. There are 3 main sponsors. Copa Airlines are one of the big ones, and we obviously thank them, along with a few, too many to name at this point, but we're grateful for the partners because without them, simply this tournament wouldn't exist.
Right. Okay, then, Jonathan, thanks much for speaking with us, and we wish you all the best.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Our pleasure. Okay, so that was Jonathan Newham, the Director of Operations at Sandals Upton Estate Golf and Country Club, sharing with us the happenings for the 10th Annual Latin American Travel Advisory Golf Tournament at Sandals Upton Estate Golf and Country Club. We take a break and we come back with more here on Sports Nation Live.